Welcome to my channel and welcome to my website. My name is Daryl and this is Programming in Any Language. The website is www.black-duck.com. It's where you'll find all my videos organized in a logical order. You can begin with the basics and then move on to advanced concepts. You can also start with a speed track and build an application from scratch, which should pique your curiosity with a desire to learn more. Well, when we first started working with C#, we were writing code in events. That was the first thing we were doing. When you double click on a button, you get the shell structure for a button click event, and you write code. When you double click on a checkbox, you got a shell structure for a check change event, and you wrote code. You can double click on any object on your form, and you'll get the shell structure for the default event associated with that object. Now notice I said the word default. Well, every object has a default event. Every object also has a large number of non-default events. These are events available to the programmer to allow the object to act in some different way. Some of the most popular are mouse events. There is MouseHover, MouseLeave, MouseDoubleClick, and others. This next short video shows how you can access them. Take a look. Up to now, we've been quite aware that virtually all buttons, labels, text boxes, whatever, all have events on them. And as you know, the button has the default click event, and the radio buttons and the check boxes have a change event that is normal, that it comes up as their default event. However, you can do all kinds of events on these objects, on buttons and labels. I'm going to show you this right away. Okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get my toolbox, and I'm going to grab a button, and I'm going to grab a label. This label, I'm going to go to my properties, and I'm going to change the font on it to a 12-point font, and make it bold. I'm also going to take auto size off this thing and make it longer so I can type large things in here, or at least have large things appear in here. I'm going to jump down to the bottom, and I'm going to, well, first I'm going to give it a background, border style. That's fixed singles fine. Jump down here, and I'm going to have the text aligned to the center. So that's basically it. I'm going to call the thing, we're going to get rid of this label here, we don't need it. And I'm going to call the thing label out. I've got a button down here, and this is going to be called button do it. So I'm just going to say in here do it. We're going to change this font, make it bold, make it a little larger so we can see that do it in here. And I'm going to give it a name in code, button do it. BTN do it. There, now we've got a simple program here. Now, as we know, we can go into this and create an event for the do it button. If I double click on the do it button, the default event is the click event, and it pops up just like that. And I can easily pop in here LBL out dot text is equal to the click event. Let's say the button is pressed. The button was pressed. And put a thing on it. And it just works fine. You're going to see this thing. We can save it right now. And we can start the program. And click on it. And the button was pressed. It's clicked on there. That's no problem at all. We've been able to do this without any problem. But what you can do, if you go into design mode, and you have the button highlighted, you can go and click the lightning bolt structure right here, and you'll see all the possible events you have. You see you have a button do a click event already here, but we can have a mouse hover event if we want to. So we can just drag down here. Here's the mouse hover event. If I click on this and double click on it, I create the button do it mouse hover event. And now I can say something like LBL out dot text is equal to button is being hovered I don't know if that's a legitimate sentence or not, but we can certainly say that. Yeah, we'll put the semicolon back there. Now we've got that little possibility there. So I'm going to do a file save on this thing and save all and start the program again. And what happens? We go in here and just move our cursor down over the button event. Notice that button is being hovered pops up in here and stays there because it actually put that in there. By clicking the button, do it, we change that the button was pressed. I now can get out of there. If I go back in, I'm hovering again. So the button is being hovered. So now we have two events working on this button. One which reacts whenever I take the mouse and put it over it, and the other one I actually click it like this. Interesting. Okay, so let's do something else. Let's go into this button here. Click on it again. We're still in the lightning bolt phase, so we can look at all the different mouse events we might have here. There's mouse enter, mouse leave. Let's click on this. This creates a button mouse leave event, and we can do label out .text equals the mouse has left the button, and do a file save and run it again. Oops, I have an error. Why do I have an error? Oh, because I didn't put a semicolon back here. No problem. We'll fix that up real quickly. Get rid of this. File save. Run it again. And now what you're seeing is I can hover over it. Button is being hovered. I can click it. Button was pressed. Now if I leave, the mouse has left the button. That shows up there. Mouse has hovered the button. Mouse has left the button. You can do this over and over again, basically. But if I click on it, I get this. But that goes away because when I leave the mouse, it's out of there. I can also do things to the label. The default label, if I click on the label, what do I get? I get a click event for the label. So I can actually put there the label was clicked. So let's do that. Let's go lbl out .text equals the label was clicked. Put a semicolon on there and see what happens there. Now this is a normal event, so this is going to work just fine. We'll go ahead and hover over this thing and we'll click on it and we'll get out of there. And we'll now hit this and click on the label and we get the label was clicked. So a click event works with the label as well. What else can we do? If we get out of here, we could go to the label itself and go to its properties and look at some of the other mouse events they might have. We have a mouse leave event here too, and a mouse up, a mouse move, mouse enter, mouse down, mouse double click. What happens if we double click it? Then we can say lbl out .text is equal to the label was double clicked, and do a file save and start. We have the button here. If we go ahead and click on it, the label was clicked. If we double click on it, the label was double clicked. We can still do a hover over, which gives you that, and a click, which gives you that, and a leaving the mouse off of the button, we get the mouse has left the button, and we can double click on this again, and we get the label has been double clicked. Let's close this off and bring up a real application. Now that you've learned how to access the non-default events of the mouse, let's put this into play in an actual application. I'll go to the speed track application we created and show you how you can enhance a program, making it more user-friendly. When we write our programs, we want them to be as intuitive as possible to the users. The alternative, of course, is writing a huge how-to manual, and we don't want to do that. For the anything database written in the speed track section, we can make it more intuitive to the user by providing direction when the user hovers over a button. Check this out. I'm going to navigate to the anything database and bring that up. We're looking at the anything database. This is the program we actually used in the speed track, and it came to this particular thing. But now what we're going to do is we want to add some different functionality to this kind of thing, and I can certainly do that. If we run this thing right now as is, it comes up nicely, and we can probably load our data. We have our Rice Krispies, our hamburger meat, all that stuff came up that we did before. We can look at that and make that all work. So it's all there. However, we can add some functionality to these buttons. These buttons don't do much except do what they're supposed to do. But if we wanted to give some more information to the user, and allow them to figure out what's going to be adding on here. We can actually go ahead and click on an add button, for example, and we can go to the properties, and we can go ahead and click on the lightning bolt here, and we can go down to the mouse event, and MouseHover might be a good one to use right here. We can actually use the MouseHover and go ahead and create that event, and we can say, actually we can say we need a label to do this. Let's take a look at this again. Let's see what we could have here. We could do is we could put a little informational button on here. We could grab a label. So let's go back. We're going to go back out of the thing, go back to here, and just bring up a label, from our toolbox here. We'll grab our common controls and bring up a label. There's our label right here. Well, what is our font on these things? Let's take a look and see what we've got here. We've got the font sitting at 10 with a bold on here. So we could probably do the same thing here. We can set the font to bold and 10. And then we can take this label, maybe change its color, its forecolor, to a red. And we can also go ahead and make this centered. And then take this label and leave the border style at 0, but we'll add nothing. But we'll add an auto size to take that off of here, and we'll actually extend this thing so that it covers this area. Maybe it goes to the ends of the buttons right here and covers that entire block. And we can use our mouse to get this thing up a little bit. Whoops. We'll go ahead and go back to our label. Here it is right here, and see if we can't move it up a little bit, and there it is. And we're going to give it a name. We'll give it a name of message, label message, LBL MESSAGE, and then get rid of the name we have down here. Now we've created an informational label right now, and if we run this program, you won't see it. It looks just like this. We do our load and everything is fine. But now what we can do is we can give information to the user about these different buttons here. So as I said before, I went and did the add button, and we looked at our event. Go to the lightning bolt again, go down here and see if we got that mouse hover. We did. We'll click on it again so we can go to it, and there the mouse hover is. We can say LBL message dot text is equal to this will add a record to the list box. And let's take a look at our edit button, and we can go here and do a mouse hover on this one too. And we can say, we'll just grab this, change the text in it. This will allow editing of the selected record. And we got any more in here? We could do them all if we wanted to, but we won't do that. Yeah, this one's pretty good. We'll go ahead and find this one, mouse over. Then we'll give it a shot and see what happens here. Mouse hover. This will delete the selected record. And that's enough for now. We'll just go ahead and save this thing and take a look at it and see how it runs. We save all and do a start on this. Here's our database. We can load it right now. We got our stuff there. If we want to add one to it, let's just say we're going to add. We're going to add peaches. Well, how do we do that? We use this button here, and yeah, this will add a record to the list box. Oh, that's cool to know. Bang! We'll click on it, and hopefully it did. It did. Now it didn't go away. We didn't set anything to make it go away. So maybe when the mouse leave, it'd be a good way to clear that thing out. We could certainly do that event as well. So it's another event we could actually put in there if we wanted to. So we go to our design, we'll go to our add button, look at the events we have here. MouseLeave can be right here, and we will go ahead and say, and just blank this out, LBL MESSAGE dot text is equal to, quote, semicolon. File save. Save all. Run it. And load our data into here. See if our peaches are there. Oh, we didn't save it last time. We didn't save that, so it's okay. Well, we can do peaches again. We can type in peaches here. Do it. Hover over. Oh, this is where you add. This is where you add a record. I'll click on it. I did it. Now I'll take my button off, and it goes away. Comes back on, goes away. So this is kind of nice. It goes up and on. Edit didn't do that. We're sitting there. This will allow this selected record, so we can actually take laundry detergent and do an edit on this, and it comes up as laundry detergent. We can then do something. We'll cancel this and go ahead. So you want to put the canceling effect or the MouseLeave event in all these buttons, so that you didn't have it, so it wouldn't be there. And it certainly works right here. We can go ahead and do the add button. Works just fine like that. So what this does for you, it allows you to create your application and then give more and more information to the user, making it much easier for them to understand what your program does. Because when you create a program and pass it on to somebody without any instruction, they can be pretty lost. So giving them every little bit that they can work on would be great here. Be nice to put something here, enter data here. We could put some instructions here. Enter a piece of data that you'd like to move into the list box. Number of records. If you need more information on this, what is this? Is the count of the number of records in the list box you could have if you just highlight it over this thing. So you can use those events, and there are a ton of them. Just go out of here. Go back to our form design. There's a ton of them. If you just click on any button, we've got our add button selected right now. We've selected the button mouse add, mouse leave, and we've got the mouse click event listed. But there's so many other things you can actually use that you can experiment with. The mouse ones are great because they'll allow you the navigation of what you actually do. Back to capture change, mouse click, double click, all that stuff is there. Do we have mouse double click on here? I don't see a mouse double click event here. No, I don't see that on this one. Put the mouse up. So maybe we don't have that available. But this will tell you what's available to you. Now, once you've got this done, and you want to get back to normal programming, you have this lightning bolt clicked off. So you click on this middle one right here, the properties button, and it clicks it off, and everything goes back to normal. And again, you've got what order you want them in. I like to click the back one here. I got them in alphabetical order, and everything works there. I can take a look at my add button. There it is. Looks kind of great. Super. But all my events are sitting out here someplace. And can I see them? Ah, look at this. Button cancel, button clear. All the buttons are up there. Button add. Button save. If we click on the button add, can we do something with it? It just comes up and shows us what it has here. So basically, once you've gotten in there, you can create give the user all the information you possibly can have by using the mouse controls and different events, the non-normal, the non-standard events that you'll have for each button, label, text box, whatever you want. Really, it's kind of useful. Well, while you were playing with the mouse events, you may have noticed dozens of other events lurking in the event window. Most of them you'll probably never use. But we will return to more of these as the need arises. For now, this enhances your toolbox. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to use the website for easy access to all my videos. If you get a chance, please subscribe. That way, you'll be notified when something new is available. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.